For 2 decades, Anil was the guy corporations called when the deal was worth 9 figures. He closed hundreds of millions of dollars with tech sales. He hit President's Club, and he was the top 1% of salespeople in the entire company, and he made pretty decent money at his 9 to 5. And he had the title, he had the respect, and he felt nothing. He'd come home drained, glued to his computer, thinking, should I call in sick tomorrow? And that's not who he is.
Do I call in sick? Do I say my son is sick? Do I say I had a family emergency?
But that's what corporate made him. Then he found UGC, and for the first time in 20 years, Anil, he worked, but the work didn't feel like work. So he's trying to walk away from the salary, the stability.
I'm desperate because bills are piling up and I don't see a path forward.
And everything he knew, and he bet on himself with his UGC journey.
I was sleeping 3 hours a night. 4 hours was the max sleep I would ever get because I was always worried.
And in his first week with UGC, he landed a deal. And now he's working with companies like Rise Superfoods, one of the fastest growing wellness brands in America, sold at Target nationwide, and he's never felt more alive. So in this episode, Anil's gonna share how he turned 20 years of corporate sales into a UGC superpower, and why brands are desperate for men over 40 right now, and why walking away from a 6-figure job is one of his goals now. So I'm Gloria Stonelake, and Anil, welcome to the podcast. This is UGC World.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
I'm excited to have you on here, Anil. So first of all, I mean, you've had a pretty crazy backstory, and we'll jump into that in a second. But you spent 20 years, in the boardrooms, understanding what makes people say yes, right? Doing sales and closing deals that most people will never see in their lifetime. But you said something that stuck with me in the past. You said all of that felt like empty happiness.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like right. So what does full happiness look like for you now?
So we would close these crazy big deals and we would all celebrate, but it would be like, it's emptiness. It's not like you're helping a company, you're not helping people, right? If that makes sense. And now when I'm doing UGC, when I'm helping a smaller company, especially companies that need the help, they don't have billion-dollar budgets, right? And you're making an authentic video, you're actually helping somebody solve a problem that they have, right? And it means something because it's personal. It's not, a board being happy, but it's a person being happy and people can relate to you. And that actually means something, right? It's not, the money is great, yeah, but you're actually solving somebody's problem. And that's what makes it different.
Yeah. So you had that calling and that feeling, maybe working your job, and you're like, oh, wait, something is not aligned. So where did that feeling even come from? What made you start to develop that feeling?
It was, I think it was when I turned 50 where I'm like, I'm running around. I've been doing this for so many years. I've missed how many games and my daughter's ballet lessons and, right, because I was always on a plane. And at the end of the day, you see the salary and you see this commission and you're like, was it really worth it? And do I want to continue like this? It's like, I'm tired. I'm just tired. I just don't want to do this. And it was just a feeling that came that said, I just don't want to do this anymore. And that Sunday, I'll never forget when I was like, do I call in sick? Do I say my son is sick? Do I say I had a family emergency? I was trying to find that excuse. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is not me. I'm not like this. And I did not like that feeling.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were missing your kids' lives.
Yes.
And you're like, wait, is this salary worth it?
Right.
And you got to the bottom of that feeling and you were like, no, it's not worth it.
No.
Wow. And I think many people watching this video right now probably can relate to that. And eventually you did find UGC and
yes.
It helped you supplement that feeling and find that fulfillment that you were looking for. So how did you first discover UGC, Anil?
So I've been making videos on my spiritual channel for years now. I've been consistent every day. I have, I built it up to 22,000 followers and I really wasn't monetizing it. And then one day my son, he's 14 years old, he walks into my bedroom and he goes, Dad, have you heard of UGC? you can get paid for making videos. So I was like, UGC, I've never even heard of it. So I Google it and I'm like, okay, user generated content. And he forwarded me a video view on going on, it was a short or it was a quick video. And I'm like, okay, this probably works great for 20-year-olds who are female and no one's going to listen to an old guy, right? I'm beyond this. So I kind of like, I'm like, whatever. And then I was like, let me look at it, and I created an account on Bento and I sent out a couple of emails, and obviously it was just, just random emails and nothing happened. I'm like, see, this nothing happens, right? And then I started to Google more about it. And the funny thing is, when I Googled it, I found a very long post by Coach Dave on Reddit on how UGC works. You have to do the work, and he has this program that works. And I clicked on it, and it took me to your video again, right? To your landing page. So I had joined, and at that time, if you remember, there was that little mix-up where it took me to the other program that wasn't supposed to be there, and I'm like, okay, here we go, another program that they're going to teach you these things, and then you're never going to hear from anybody again, right? And I was like, I've spent hundreds and $1,000s on these programs,
Wow.
It's just going to be another one of those things, right? They'll do anything to bring you in, make you all these worldly promises. And, it's probably, I was like, I can figure this out myself. And then I kind of just left it until I spoke to you on chat, and you said, set up this discovery call. And that's when I set up the call with Dre.
Wow. So you stumbled into UGC. You found some of my content and Coach Dave's content.
Yep.
For context, if you're watching this right now, Coach Dave is a coach inside of the UGC World, UGC Academy. And Anil, you found some of Dave's content.
Yeah.
You found my content.
Yeah.
So my piece of content was the one that helped you understand what UGC was, but
Correct.
Coach Dave's content was the one that made you understand that, hey, men in their 50s can do UGC. So what really stuck out to you on that post that made you realize, wait, I can probably pull this off. Maybe I can pull this off.
And I'm like, Dave, just like me, looks like he's in his 50s, right? He's good on camera like I am. I can relate to him. And in his post, he actually wrote, like, this is not a get rich quick scheme. Like, you're not going to join and make gazillion dollars, right? You're going to have to work for it. There's a system. There's a proper way to do it that you need to find. So it was a really well-written post, a free post. And I'm like, if he's spending this much time to write this post, he's just like me. Maybe I can do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were inspired by Coach Dave.
100%.
And then
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yep.
Wonderful. So how long in total have you been like a UGC creator now?
It's been a month. I think a month and a week. It's been like 5 weeks.
A month now.
Yeah.
Got it. And do you do this full time, part time right now, or you're looking to move it full time? What are your goals around this?
My goal is to do UGC full time and replace my 9 to 5. That is my goal, and I can see it. I can absolutely see it because of all the support that's in the community. There's actually a plan. I actually have written out a business plan of how I'm getting there.
Wow.
I know, and the biggest thing is the coaching calls, right? You get on these coaching calls, you have different coaches that have different perspectives. And, Coach Dave, Coach Mike, just like me, right? We relate. And they give you tips that work now. It's not like go build it or go try this software or, try this affiliate link because I'll get paid when you sign up, right? It's none of that. I mean, and this, I joined. And within, I think 2 hours, I got a message from Coach Dave saying, I want to get you on the phone right now. I'm like, whoa, like right now? He's like, yeah, right now. And he spent an hour and a half with me going through exactly what he does. And he goes, just replicate this, replicate this, replicate this, replicate this. And that's exactly how I got my first gig.
Wow. Wonderful. So you got the support that you needed.
Yeah.
You felt heard for your age and for who you are, right?
Yep.
And you found you got that help, and that help led to you moving your business forward over the next 5 weeks in the program, which is amazing. And we will jump into the more details of the program and everything. But I do want to jump into the fact that you started with no content experience. Is that right?
I mean, I made videos about numerology and things like that. I wouldn't call it like content, like UCG content. It was me just talking on video and posting it, right? I didn't edit or anything. It was just raw video.
So it was just raw video, kind of like FaceTime like content, but no the experience.
No. I didn't even know I had to Google what UGC stood for.
Wow.
Like 5 weeks ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you didn't have any UGC experience, and you've had exponential growth, and it's continuing here, and we'll jump into that, what that growth looks like. But for you, Anil, what was your first attempt like with UGC versus your latest attempt like with UGC?
So it was more like I was shooting in the dark before, where I just created an account. I didn't know, I should be having a niche. I should be targeting, I didn't even know people looking for Gen X, creators. And I was just randomly trying everything and anything and responding to Reddit posts and, oh yeah, $20 for a video. Sure, I'll do it. Right. It was kind of like that, just to get some income going. Right. And then now I've niched down. I know who I want to target. I know what products I want to make videos for. And now I have a specific niche and a specific target. And as they say, the riches are in the niches. That's my target. That's where I'm going. And I know I need to just focus on that. Laser focus.
What made you realize that, hey, I want to switch my approach? I need to switch my approach to go all in on a few niches.
So I felt like I was a scatterbrain. I was trying to do too much. And that is one thing I'm guilty of, is that I'll go all heads in and I'll do so much that I'll actually slow myself down. So I was doing product reviews. I was doing, health and wellness. I was doing anything and everything. And I was spread too thin, right? So what I realized was that not only was I not able to respond to all the inquiries that I was making, that when I got the actual gigs, I was rushing the videos because I needed to get to the next video. And I wasn't making quality work, which I didn't like. So I slowed down, and even to the point, and I'll admit this, that I would read the briefs and I would read them so fast, there were things missing in there because I was going so fast because I needed to get to the next thing, because I needed to get back on Bento. I needed to get back on Fiverr, and I was all over the place. So I had to narrow my focus so I could be good at what I do.
Wow. So you went through this crazy transformation where you started UGC. When you first started, you kind of did it wrong. You didn't go all in on niches. You didn't use essentially strategy into your approach. And now you've implemented that strategy, and then you've seen exponential growth since then.
Absolutely. It's like going to the gym, right? You walk into the gym and you just start randomly picking up weights, and you start going on the treadmill, nothing's going to happen. But if you hire a private trainer, they give you a regimen and a program, you're going to see progress, right? Same analogy.
Wow. That's a great analogy. Yeah. And for the brands that you have worked with so far, more so your results and everything, if you can publicly state, what brands have you worked with, and how much money so far have you made with UGC, if we haven't mentioned it already?
Yeah, so I've worked with companies like Rise Mushroom Coffee, right? I never thought they would reach out to me, but I made a video on what I thought what they would like, and I sent it to them, and they loved it, right? So I've made my first video, and they're testing it right now. I got $200 for that video. Once that goes, they do the testing, they'll come back to me with a long-term contract, right? So that's in progress right now. And then there's some online SaaS applications like Ship Forward. I've worked with some sleep gummy companies. And just today I received a kit for some women's facial creams,
Really?
but I'm going to be like the doctor or the dermatologist that's going to recommend the product. So there's a space everywhere, right? Just because it's a woman's product doesn't mean men can't make videos for it. So it's very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So you're working with a ton of brands right now.
Yeah.
What would you say to the past version of yourself or that guy that's listening to this right now? That's like, is this even possible for me? Can I work with brands as a 50-year-old, a man in this space when 20-year-old women dominate this space?
Right. And 4 weeks ago or a month, 2 months ago, you would have told me I'm doing this. I would have told you crazy because I'm like, there is no way I can't. Who's going to listen to me? I'm the old guy, right? There is no way. And when I even first looked at UGC, I was like, this is not going to work for me. Look, it's all 20-year-olds, right? And they're all traveling. They can, go to different places and have different backgrounds. And I'm stuck at home, right? I live in New Jersey, and the most I do is now go to the office or drop my son to school. So how am I going to make videos with backgrounds? But there's ways to do it. There's absolutely ways to do it.
And I remember you mentioning previously that there's a huge market for men your age for UC collabs and gigs. So why do you say that?
Because companies are looking for, again, authentic videos of real life examples, right? And in a way, a lot of people consumers are tired of the same ads and the same types of, oh, look, I'm on a travel, I'm traveling now, I'm doing this. It's not realistic, right? Where they look at me, they're like, hey, that's me, right? I can be doing that, or I have that problem. If it can solve it for him, it can solve it for me, and it's more authentic. And that's what brands are looking for, right? Like if it's an online application for, say a CRM or something for a big company, right? 20-year-old is probably not going to relate to them, where someone like me will relate to them, right? And they see me using the app. They see how it helps my business. They see how it helps me bring up sales, right? That's more relatable than anything else. And there is a massive market out there, massive market for Gen X.
And you're saying it's because more so there's less Gen X out there, so there's more of a market for Gen X to go there.
Yeah, because consumers, even a B2B business wants to see an application or a service or a SaaS application being used versus these fancy ads with lights and, it can do this, it can do that, where I can say, like ship forward, I didn't know how to track my containers anymore. Look, I can go on the website and it gives me instant tracking, right? Like real problems it's solving, right?
For sure. And then, of course, there's going to be certain brands that target people like you and certain brands that target people like me, right?
Absolutely.
We're completely different demographics, but there's opportunity for everybody, you're saying, inside of this industry.
Everybody. I don't think there's a niche or a person that there's not a need for, right? There's testosterone replacement companies that are reaching out to me because men of my age, their testosterone goes down, right? So there's a huge market for that right now. Sleep, right? Trouble sleeping. Sleep gummy companies are reaching out to me. There's tons. And because of my spiritual background, a company reached out to me yesterday for these hydrogen bottles, right? Where it takes the water and it adds hydrogen to them, so it actually raises your frequency. They want me to do an ad for that. So there's something for everybody. It's an untapped market.
Wow. Untapped market. I agree with that as well.
Yeah.
It's crazy out there, especially for people your age to jump in and make a difference, because there's not many of you guys out there. So with that being said, you're landing collabs. I suppose that your strategy at the very beginning to land collabs has completely changed since now over the next 5 weeks, to change. So how do you right now, Anil, land collabs? What systems essentially do you have in place, and how did you get the system in place?
So when I first joined, it was, you look in the group and you're like, oh, this is working for me. This is working for me. This is working for me. And everything's going to work different for everybody, right? You might be successful on Fiverr. I might not. So when I first joined, I was just applying on every app, every website, everything. And then I had to streamline it because it just didn't make sense. So now what I do is I have basically Backstage is my main place that I get my collabs from. And then I've set up my own CRM where have my own domain, and I go and get the contacts from Apollo, and I send them out. I send out 20, 30 to 50 emails every single day. And that's the thing, consistency, right? Send out 50 emails a day. Then I have 4 follow-ups in the next, so it rotates out in a month. And they're just going out. They're on autopilot. I'll pull a bunch of them. I have some agentic AI agents set up where they pull it from Apollo for me, put it into my CRM, and the emails just go out. And just being consistent. That's the biggest thing. And the biggest thing I learned was when you get 2 or 3 gigs, don't stop on the prospecting. I made that mistake in the beginning. Oh, I got 2 gigs. Okay, I don't have to send any more emails out. No, because that's a cycle. That takes about 10 days a week for people to get back to you. So just constantly be pitching.
Yeah. And having the mentality of like a systems mentality, right?
Yeah.
Where you're always putting systems up. They're always running. So you can always win the collabs. And that's the game right there. So obviously, Anil, you have, insider information that most creators don't really have. So inside of the community and everything like that. So how does it feel to have access to a bunch of other coaches and professionals in the community who are actively maybe even hiring UGC creators, aligning UGC creators, for example, Alexander, the brand owners, or even Coach David, as we mentioned?
Yeah.
That give you a fresh new perspective coming from people who are actively successful creators and hiring creators?
I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for the coaches, right? There's a coaching call, 4 or 5 times a week? And each coach brings a different perspective, right? One does systems, one does Fiverr, one does just email, one does, another app. And you join these calls and they give you their perspective. And like I said earlier, they give you exact things to do, like go do this, go do this. Did you think about this? Everything from, did you think about sending the email like this? Did you update this? And they'll even look at your portfolio link and say, let's look at it right now. Right? Oh, fix this, right? Instant things you can do. And if it wasn't for those coaches, especially Coach Dave, Coach Mike, even my setup back here, right? I was like, I'm going to set up a podcast studio in my house. He gave me the method, cost me less than $40, and you can see, right? So just things like that. And you have that support. You have a question, you come on, question gets answered. It's one-on-one. It's almost like private coaching, in my opinion. It's almost like private coaching. Yeah.
Very powerful. Because you have a different, even other 50-year-old men, everyone has like a different background and a different mindset and everything. But at the end of the day, everyone's trying to get to a similar result, which is building a 10, 20, 30K per month UGC business. So of course you need that personalized coaching along with other peers, which is wonderful about it. It did make an impact on you, and it still does. So with that being said, when did you land that first collab inside of even the UGC space starting, and how did it feel to land that first win?
Oh, it was, and again, it was thanks to Coach Dave, who looked at my portfolio and said, this guy's just like me. I'm working with this company. Let me send you. He sent my portfolio link to them and they're like, great, let's work together. Right. So that's how I landed the first one. And I was like, wow, this works. This actually works. Right. And then when the payment comes in, you're like, okay, it really works. Right. It proves the method. So it was, again, thanks to Coach Dave. Then the other ones came in because as soon as I got a little bit of momentum, that's all it takes. It takes that one. And the first one is so hard because you see everyone in the group going, I just got this. I got this. I got a monthly retainer. And you're like, oh, will it ever happen to me? Right. You get that one. That's all it takes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you said you have a background in like investing in other things that just did not work and put you into debt?
Oh my God. And I'll be honest, I've done a lot of these programs where you join and then you're kind of left on your own and you ask a question, they're like, go watch the video. You go watch the video. It's from like 2 years ago, right? And it was, be honest, I've probably invested over $100,000 in programs where they failed. Wow. Yeah. And they failed.
That's very, very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I'm very glad that you're finding a voice in this industry and you're finding a voice here. So you're actually making a difference. And you've landed a ton of collabs. So and you've only been in the industry for 5 weeks.
For 5 weeks, yeah.
Crazy. So how much in total, Anil, have you kind of made or even invoiced? What's coming? So everyone watching this can understand how impactful it is to just take action, go all in, and make a voice in this industry.
So I have $600 already in my account, $650 in my account. I have another $150 on invoice. And then I have received another product that I talked about. So that's another $175. And then I have another product in the mail, which is another. So about $1,000 already in the first month. Yeah.
$1,000 basically in your first month.
Yeah.
Where do you see like your business going over the next few months with all of the maybe support you're getting and all of like the traction you're getting right now and the systems you have?
I could see myself in 90 days at $5,000 a month easily. And then by the end of the year, 15 to 20,000 a month. I could see it already. I'm visualizing it already. It's a matter of time. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I know that you've been working a ton on your mindset and you're very like huge. We've had previous conversations before.
Yes.
Huge on mindset. So how has your mindset impacted this growth so far?
So keeping it positive, obviously, right? Saying I can do this. And, there was a couple of collabs that didn't come through, right? And when you lose them because the price isn't right or it's not the right product, you're like, that's it. Don't think of it as a loss. Think of it as a learning experience, right? What did I learn from losing that? What would I do different next time? Now I know to do this, right? Even when my first video got rejected, and actually my first Rise video did get rejected because I didn't read the brief properly, right? So now I know I got to print it out. I got to read it. So these are all lessons. That's all I look at as just lessons. They're not mistakes.
For sure. And that's a very strong mindset because we need to have that growth mindset of like, okay, I make a mistake. And then we always just like transition from that mistake and iterate. Because the only way you learn is to just like do it and then keep iterating as you stay consistent, which is the mindset that you have. And this is how you got growth.
And if you have a doubt, there's a whole support community, right? You put a question in that group, you get an answer within minutes. It's not like somebody responds to you 10 days later. It's within minutes. Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you got that support and it's compounding into $1,000 months.
Yeah.
So soon. So for you, Anil, like how does it feel to actually make money online with UGC? Coming from the perspective that for a lot of people, especially your age, they think this stuff is a scam. Making money online is not real. It's not in the reality. So it's a big gap for people transitioning into online business, and you're able to be profitable with this. So now you have that new perspective.
It's you think of it as like, somebody making videos and just, getting paid for it. But no, it feels like a business now because Coach Mike, basically said, go set up an LLC, make sure you have a bank account, make sure, your tax stuff is in order. And it feels like it is a real business now, right? It's established, things are coming in, and that makes it real. That's what really makes it real. It's not just I have an affiliate link and now I might make a commission. It's my business. If I don't work, I don't get paid. When I work, I get paid, right? And when you're dedicated and you're working hard, the coaches recognize that and they help you even more. And that's the key. Yeah. For sure.
I mean, anyone can be successful as long as you put in the work and meet us halfway. It's simple. Meet yourself halfway.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all we need. So for you, Anil, for the people like watching and really want to understand like your lifestyle and what's different with your lifestyle, My question to you is, what's different about like your day-to-day life now compared to 5 weeks ago when you first started? You're kind of transitioning. You had doubts about like making money online. Like, what's different about your life?
Honestly, I'll be totally vulnerable here. Even with my income, daughter in college, debts, mortgages, it was coming to the point where I'm like, okay, either I get a new job with more money, with more travel, right? I drive Uber on the weekends or something because I need to supplement my income. And I was really at the point where I was like, I'm desperate because bills are piling up and I don't see a path forward, because even with my current job, business hasn't been great with everything going on, and I haven't seen a commission check in months, and it's really impacting our lifestyle. Fast forward now, $1,000 might seem like small, but it's a start, and it's a goal now I have, and I know I can get to 5,000, 10,000, 30,000, right? And just knowing that there's a path forward, I sleep better at night. I'm more relaxed. I enjoy the community, the talks, the calls. There could be a call at 10 o'clock on a Friday. I'm like, I'm joining. I'll be in my bed because I'm so tired because I've been up at 5:30. But it's that motivation, it's that excitement, that knowing you have a goal and soon I'll be free, right?
That's very, very powerful what you just said. You were struggling. You were literally struggling, and you're having these, doubts, and you're in a place where your mind was just like maybe in fight or flight.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was sleeping 3 hours a night. I mean, I track my sleep on my Oura ring. Like 4 hours was like the max sleep I would ever get, because I was always worried. How is that bill going to get paid, right? How is the college fund going to get paid? What am I going to do for retirement? The credit card debt went up this month. So all those things were keeping me up.
Wow. And what advice would you give someone listening to this podcast right now that are in a similar position as you were? What advice would you give them to just maybe take that step and bet on themselves like you did?
Sometimes you just got to jump in. And honestly, when I signed up, I didn't even know how I was going to make the payment, right? And you just jump in, have the confidence, have the right mindset, and just trust the system, because it really, really, really does work. Trust the coaches, trust Gloria. There's so much support. I can't emphasize that enough, the support. And you got to do it for yourself. You got to do it for your family. Like, there's no question. And you might think, oh, AI is going to take over. Yeah, maybe. AI helps, right? I do a lot of my research with AI, but that AI, and I can tell you this from experience, that AI video you post plus the authentic video you make, people feel the energy. That AI video does nothing. Where your authentic video, that's the one that goes viral.
Wow. That's very powerful, especially when, everyone is about that AI buzz right now.
Yeah.
And UGC, like you said, it's literally making authentic videos. How on earth are we going to provide authentic videos? Or how on earth does UGC even work in the first place when authentic videos are not even created?
Right.
And that's where AI, there's always going to be brands that love AI, but that's their loss by promoting their business with a fake person. Right?
Yeah.
But for you, on your end, you're like, no, there's always going to be brands that need people like me. And all I need is 10, right? 10 1K brands per month.
Right.
10K a month.
Yeah.
It's powerful. So for you, Anil, would you recommend this path of getting like mentorship and investing in themselves to other creators who might be struggling, or other even men who might be looking to just start UGC in the first place?
I don't think there's any other way you can do it. I don't think, and I tried it, right? You can go sign up to all these great websites and everybody gives you free stuff online, and yeah, you could probably do it, but if you want to really fast forward and fast track your success, figure out your niche, figure out and get the right coaching, this is the only way to do it. And I'm so, honestly, when I joined that first call, the discovery call, I was like, I'm not signing up for this. I'll just do the call. There's no way, right? And by the end of the call, I'm like, I'm in, right? So this is the only way. I think that this is the only way to do it, especially when you're at my age. Yeah.
That's very powerful. and very inspiring. And thank you for all your kind words, especially. So before you made that jump, Anil, what was your biggest doubt before making the commitment into yourself? And what would you say to like others who might be dealing with that same struggle?
Especially when you're at my age, and I mean, 51 is not old, but still, when you see the competition and you see all these young folks, don't think like there's not a space for you. There is a lot of space, especially men. Men are needed, right? And it's easy. There's like, if you have an interest, and this is the best part about UGC is like, when you make videos for things you actually enjoy, that you have a passion for, it doesn't feel like work. And you will find companies out there that need you because they want the authentic videos. And 9 out of 10 times, the briefs that I get from companies, they say the same thing. Make the video like you're talking to a friend in FaceTime. They don't want fancy edits. They don't want fancy graphics. And you'll see all this stuff online. Nobody wants that anymore. They want authentic, real videos, raw videos. So you can do this.
Wow. And even for that, I know you have a small background in creating content and authentic content, but for that person watching this that hasn't even picked up their phone and filmed a video in their whole life, what would you tell them? What advice would you give them to just crush it with UGC and go all in?
It's all about practice. The more videos you make, the better you're going to get. Even if you're afraid to be on camera, just think you're solving a problem for someone. You're helping somebody. And just that mindset will make those videos no problem. And you'll get better and better and better. Trust me. I was looking on my TikTok from like 5 years ago. I was looking at my first video and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe people listen to this. And you just grow, just practice. It just takes practice. And the best thing is you can make a video, put it in the group. Somebody will give you honest feedback.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's just that iteration process that we talked about. Yeah. So Anil, I mean, you've spilled so much sauce and you've talked about your journey. And I know you inspired so many people watching this right now. What's your final piece of advice? Maybe around the mind, maybe around business, maybe around anything. What's your final piece of advice from your heart to anyone watching this that was in the same position you were, 2 months ago?
Take a breath, slow down, and just do it the right way. And you can do this, right? You're capable. You owe it to your family. Just slow down. That's it. You're probably going way too fast, like I was, all over the place, scattered. Slow down and focus, and it'll happen.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yep.
I see that too. The more that we slow down, the better we can use our mind to make the proper decisions and move forward properly, opposed to just always being, making emotional decisions. So I love that advice. With that being said, Anil, where can people watching this podcast find you on social media to just connect? So
it's Anil Gunjal UGC, or you can just go to my portfolio, anilcreates.com. ANILcreates.com, and you can connect with me there. Happy to answer any questions you have, especially about the Academy.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Guys, that's Anil. Thank you, Anil, for jumping on. And thank you. And we'll jump on another podcast within the next few months here. So we'll have like a part of this as well.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Awesome.